The topic we'll be discussing today would be how to build a global outreach program and expanding your FTC impact beyond borders. Uh, then can you move on? The next slide would be an overview of what we'll be talking about today. So first would be the introduction. We're going to introduce what is global outreach and how to connect with other teams worldwide. And the other topic would be why global outreach matters and why everyone should have a very strong global outreach base. And then the three steps into build a strong global outreach, connect, collaborate, and sustain. And at the end, we'll be talking about conclusion and an overall view of what we talked about. The next slide. One thing I always talk about is FTC is more than a competition. It's a global movement. And so first is all about collaborating, innovation, and outreach. And how do we make our outreach global? And how do we make our outreach global? So into making our outreach global would be three huge steps. The first step would be connect, and it would be connecting with other teams from worldwide and connecting with other STEM major famous talkers, you could say, or just like connecting overall is a very important thing at first. Another thing would be collaboration. So collaboration is one of the very important things about global outreach. And me personally, we like collaborated with many different teams worldwide into making very interesting global projects, such as we connected with a team from the USA, California last year, and we worked on a very interesting project under the name of First Around the World, which is basically just like asking other teams from different countries to make a video talking about how First is held in their country and how do you know, like each country is facing a different issue from a different perspective, and we wanted to just spotlight how each country is different in First and what issues each country and each continent were facing. So for example, last year I've met with this Brazilian team and they had a very interesting issue, which was when they were shipping pieces for the robot from the US to Brazil, and it's like pretty close Brazil from the US. Basically they had to pay like double the taxes, and like they had to pay for like the piece triple. So that was like very, like it was very like no, like underestimating, or like I don't know. Another thing we wanted to highlight today is sustainability is a very important thing, not only in FTC and like global movement, but in everything. Once like you're like sustainable in whatever it is you're doing, it always like, to reach your goal, that this always comes by time and by like experiencing, and you know, like sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but the very important part about it all is just like stay sustainable and just dream big. The other slide would be why would we go global? So FTC is in 100 plus countries. So why limit our impact? Why limit our knowledge? Connecting with other teams from worldwide, from all the continents, from Australia to Africa to America, just learning how FTC is held in different countries. And it's very helpful actually. Other teams from other countries could help you on like many issues you're facing. So for example, when we first started, this year we wanted to change our programming strategy from like going from Java blocks. We wanted to go to pure Java and Roadrunner, and we didn't really know how to change it. And so we met with those amazing team from California, from Romania. They're called Helix, and they helped us so much on like the very bases and how we could like work with Roadrunner and pure Java. The other thing would be more connections equal more opportunities. The more you connect with other teams and you connect with other creative characters in First, they just give you like more opportunities, and they show you like stuff you didn't know you really could do. For example, other teams could like text you on working on a virtual project or a virtual event and just like brainstorming it together. So that would be a lot of more opportunities to your team. The other thing would be the global outreach helps you expand your STEM access, partnership, and innovation. So you really just like hear other people's mindsets and other people's perspective, and that really helps you a lot into the first movement. Another thing, it would be examples of global outreach I personally worked on. It would be First Around the World, just like I said. First Around the World was a project we collaborated with from a Californian team last year, where basically a lot of teams from all around the world just made like videos talking about how first is, and you know how the culture really sometimes goes into first, and that's something I really wanted to spotlight. So for example, in like Brazil, they have so many different competitions, and you know it's like so colorful, and they just like the cultural spirit, team spirit, it's all very interesting to like hear about and look at. Another project we were worked on this year with another American team actually from Texas would be FTC Global Ambassadors. So FTC Global Ambassadors is a project for each team representing their continent, being like it's like the MUN but FTC style. So each team would be representing their continent and their country, of course. And we had 6 teams from representing 6 different continents, and we discussed very important topics such as marine life endangerment, since this season's theme is into the deep. So we really wanted to spotlight the issues we had in like the oceans and the seas, and they were like really brought up very interesting and creative solutions for so many different problems, and it was like very interesting to hear about. Moving on to the other slide, would be talking about the steps on how to build a strong outreach program. So the first step would be connect. How to connect with global teams. You could connect with global teams throughout social media and like different platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and Reddit, and very other more social media platforms. Another thing would be competitions and conferences. Such as this conference, there's a lot of different teams from many different places, and it's a very so like a lot of teams could like make connections and talk to other teams and just like text each other and how do we make a virtual project or a virtual event together. And like trust me, you can go at first like I don't know, like I don't really have an idea to go on, but trust me, like when you guys brainstorm it together, the ideas like come in between. Just don't say, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'll do. They all like just come suddenly. And obviously competitions, if you guys go to like other competitions, for example in Houston, the regionals, you get to meet like very cool teams from all around the world. And if you don't get the opportunity to participate in regionals, there's other competitions in the off season, such as the Athens competition, the Singapore competition last year, and it's like a very interesting environment to meet other people that are interested in the same stuff, such as like first and robotics, technology, all of that. Another thing would be first alumni and mentors. It's such a great networking opportunities to just meet different mentors and different teams and stuff. Moving on to the other slide. Okay, that would be examples of how you could connect with other teams. So, for example, FTC Global Ambassadors projects, where teams represent different continents, engage in cultural exchange, and share their experience in FTC. So, like I said, so every team is basically an ambassador of their continent, and FTC is held differently in each continent and in each country, and so it's like just very interesting to hear like the issues they're facing, how FTC is held in their country, and just like seeing everybody's like mindset. It's a lot of knowledge to gain. Okay, and then helping to unite global community. Uh, we're still in the examples slide, by the way. Okay. Another successful innovation and first around the world, which is like focusing on showcasing teams from like diverse backgrounds, highlighting their innovations, and promoting inclusivity within FTC. Even something as simple as just hosting a regular team meeting on Zoom with international teams can help like build global connections, allowing teams to exchange ideas, mentor each other and collaborate on outreach projects. Just like I said, just text other teams, just like international teams, and ask them for just like a very simple Zoom meeting. And the ideas come up. Just like start brainstorming, and the ideas come up. Even if you guys won't be hosting like a virtual event, just like listening to how their first experience was and like asking them for any issue you're facing through like mechanical issues, programming issues, even like outreach issues, they have just like very interesting solutions, and that could be very helpful. So remember, one message can lead to a global project. Step two would be collaborating across borders. Ways to work together, for example, just like I said, virtual STEM workshops, tech coding, CAD, or robotics, all of those are like very interesting, uh, I would say like base, and then the ideas could come up from like just texting and sharing like you have like a main idea. For example, you want to host a virtual workshop and you don't really know what you're going to put in that workshop, or like you want to do something that's extraordinary, so just like text each other and brainstorm it, and a lot of ideas come along the way. Mentorship and resources sharing help unfunded teams, and joint outreach events, competitions, fundraising, all of those can just make you meet new people and learn more about first. Step three, sustain. Making your outreach last. Sustainability equal long-term impact. Once you start doing something, you won't really see the impact. You won't really get any like how do I say that? You won't really get a final project. Just like by sustaining it, documenting it, sharing it throughout YouTube, social media platforms. TikTok really helps. Instagram is very helpful in connecting with other teams. Discord has very interesting chats on like talking about robotics and outreaching, fundraising, all of those. All of those could be like very helpful into making a global outreach. Um, Involving local communities such as schools, libraries, and community centers are also very interesting ideas. So, for example, our team we did go to like a lot of different schools, from like elementary to middle school and like high schools. So like it's very interesting just going there and talking first with other students and other kids and just hearing their ideas. It's such a fun project to do, and just like training future leaders, so passing out the leadership and like the experience you gained throughout your years into first to like young team members is very interesting, because in first you can't really participate after you're 18. So when you're like participated from a young age in first, you get a lot of experience from a lot of different situations you get put into, and so it's very like helpful to pass out that experience and that knowledge you have to other new team members to lead on after you leave the team. Oh, right. The other slide would be what can you do today? So today, uh, after you hear like what we're talking about, and like you want to start a strong global outreach project, you could one thing you could do is send a message to an international team. That's like very helpful. Just like text them, hi, my name is blah 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 from team blah blah blah, and I don't really have any ideas, but I wanna work on a virtual project or like a virtual workshop. And like I said, the ideas come all the way. They don't really you don't just sleep and wake up and you have an amazing idea. It comes by trying multiple times and just texting other teams, hearing different opinions. It's very interesting and very helpful, not only for your FTC team but also for you as an individual. Just hearing other people's mindset is very helpful psychologically. Offer to mentor a Rocky team. Offering to mentor a Rocky team is actually very interesting. So like those like young students, they don't really know about first. They don't really know about robotics, mechanical programming. They don't really know a lot. So just like passing out your knowledge and your experience to them really helps them grow into like a very successful person in like STEM, and it helps you gain like leadership, and it helps you gain like teaching skills, and it helps you before it helps them. And another thing you can do is start a global outreach project with your new connections. So for example, today we've met with a lot of different teams, and I'm sure like all of you has made international connections, and so you could just like text each other and just work on a global outreach project such as like workshops, uh, just like a normal meeting, just discussing stuff out. For example, discussing marine endangerment. That's like a very interesting topic, and it's related to this season's theme, Into the Deep. Another thing is you don't have to be a big team to make a big impact. Just like having, for example, three people that actually are willing to like make an impact and just make a change in the world, and they're actually working towards that. You guys could make like a bigger impact than like a big team that don't really have any passion through like connecting or changing whatever they want to change. And another quote would be start small, dream big. So always keep your dreams big. Just dream of like going to Houston. Even though you're a Rocky team, you don't even have a robot yet, but just the idea of you wanting to go to Houston would like make you work harder and look for like sponsors if you have this issue, look for international teams if you want to connect. It would make you like look and search for what's ahead of you. The other slide would be our team's outreach. So thankfully we've met with like a lot of like teams from different countries and different continents, and we got to hear all of those amazing mindsets and all of those amazing ideas from Australia, Asia, North America, South America, Europe, Africa. Alhamdulillah, we've met with like teams from every continent, and that's like a very good accomplish. And I really hope for all of you guys to do this, because like it gains you a lot of knowledge, and like I said, not only for your team but also for you as an individual. It makes you think outside the box. It makes you look for things that you never thought that like happened. For example, did you guys know in Romania they have like over 200 teams, and like the competitions are way longer. For us in Africa and Libya, we have like 5 qualifiers, and then after you get qualified from the city, you just go to nationals, and then from nationals straight to regionals. It doesn't go the same way in every country. And for example, in Brazil, they go straight to the competition in Houston. They don't have any qualifiers. And so like it's very interesting to just hear what other teams have to say and stuff. And the other slide would be like, thank you guys for just hearing out what we have to say, and thank you, bro Bata, to like giving us this huge opportunity on speaking here today, as a team from Libya, CyberSharks. So, does anyone have any question about the topic?
Yeah, I have one question for you.
Mm.
Okay, so like, what advice would you give teams looking to start their first global outreach initiative?
I would say just pick a team that you find interesting, an international team, like throughout Instagram, and text them and just go like, "Hi, we're from that team and we want to work on like a virtual project." And then the ideas come up. Just brainstorm a very interesting idea. Ask ChatGPT for help. That has been something I've been doing and it's really helpful. And just like go ahead, start today, for real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if I could add something, try to do an initiative that's related to this season's topic. So for our FTC ambassadors, we're discussing wildlife endangerment because it has something to do with Into the Deep, and I feel like like when we once we're going to be able to tell the judges about this, it might resonate with them more because we're connecting like all different teams through this season's theme.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
One more thing, can we take a picture for our Instagram?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, Nasreen, can you take it?
I also have a question for you.
Of course.
What challenges have you faced in building a global outreach program and how did you overcome them?
I would say a problem that we had was basically connecting with like a team from Australia, because Australia is like a different word from us, and it has been very hard to like find a team there and see how FTC was held there, and how we overcame it is we just connected with more teams and we kept asking, "Do you guys know a team from Australia?" And then finally one of the teams told us that they know a team and we connected with them, and it was very interesting actually to hear about STC in Australia.
And I think another kind of issue that we have been facing is timing. So, because we're trying to connect all different continents, each one has a different time zone. So, it's really tricky to just pinpoint a time where everyone is free and everyone can like hop on. But for now, right now, it's going well. They're all being very flexible to the fact that like they might have a very early meeting or they might have a very late meeting. So yeah, I feel like always think about the timing, time zone differences.
Thank you.
I also have one other question. Like, how do you measure the success or effectiveness of your outreach projects?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, sure. How do you measure the success or effectiveness of your outreach projects?
I would say it's actually very successful, especially for your if you're trying to connect, if you're trying to like win the connect award, it's very successful to have a strong FTC global project base, because that is gonna 100% make you win it. And even the motivate award, you could win those two easily by having a great global outreach project or like program. And I would say that it's been really successful, especially in Libya, with like connecting with international teams. And not only if we're trying to win awards. For example, we've been facing some issues in like programming, and we've been connecting with this very interesting Romanian team, and they've been really helping us out with it.
And I
So
think for our like national outreach, the stuff that we do here, where we go to schools and we go to like community places, I think I measure that with how much like the crowd is interested in what we have to say. Because obviously not a lot of people here know about robotics. So I feel like when we go to a new place and we introduce them to FIRST and FTC, if we feel like that they're like really interested and they're asking questions and they want to learn more, I think for me, I count that as like, okay, I succeeded in doing what I want to do, because the whole thing about like connecting and global outreach is just for more, and even national outreach is for more people to find out about FIRST and what we do here. So that's how I measure our success.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'll stop screen sharing.
I have one more question. How do you identify and connect with communities or organizations to partner with for your projects?
So we honestly just like use social media to our advantage. We're always active on our page so more people can see us. And then through that, we just text a bunch of different schools and we ask them, even our own schools sometimes, and we ask them, because we're not a school team or community team, so we ask them if we can come and give a lecture. Sometimes they reach out to us. So we did like a workshop at this public kind of like supermarket, like mall supermarket, and that was a really big hit. And I think through that, the team like got more exposure. So more schools found out about us and have been asking us to like do stuff. And we do stuff outside of First. So we're a team in another competition called RoboFest, and I think participating in that also just like broadened how much like people know us. So now sometimes we don't even reach out to them; like they reach out to us.
Thank you.